Bedford VAL Panorama. The Bedford VAL Panorama was one of the strangest buses ever seen on British roads, mainly because of its unusual front axle design. Instead of using the normal two front wheels found on most buses, this vehicle used four smaller wheels at the front. The design gave the bus a very distinctive appearance that looked both futuristic and slightly awkward at the same time. Introduced during the 1960s, the Panorama version was built mainly for long-distance touring and sightseeing trips. Large curved windows wrapped around the upper section of the bus, giving passengers wide panoramic views during travel. Inside, the seating layout focused on comfort rather than maximum passenger capacity, which made it popular for holiday tours across Europe. The extra front wheels were not simply for appearance. They helped distribute the weight more evenly because British regulations at the time limited axle loads. This unusual engineering solution allowed the bus to carry more passengers without exceeding legal limits. Although the Bedford VAL became memorable for its strange proportions and unusual wheel setup, it also represented a creative period in bus design when manufacturers experimented with bold ideas to improve comfort and practicality. GM Futurliner. The GM Futurliner looked less like a normal bus and more like a giant machine from a science fiction movie. Built by General Motors during the late 1930s and later redesigned after the Second World War, these enormous vehicles were created for the famous Parade of Progress exhibition tour across the United States. Their purpose was not public transportation in the traditional sense. Instead, they functioned as mobile technology showcases that traveled from city to city demonstrating new inventions and futuristic ideas. The bus itself stood unusually tall, with a massive rounded body, a central driving position high above the road, and polished chrome details that made it instantly recognizable. Each Futurliner could open along the sides to reveal miniature stages and exhibits inside. Crowds gathered around them not only because of the technology demonstrations but also because the vehicles themselves looked so unusual. At a time when most buses were practical and simple, the Futurliner embraced dramatic styling inspired by the optimism of the machine age. Only a small number were ever built, which added to their legendary status over time. Today, restored examples are treated almost like moving pieces of industrial art rather than ordinary vehicles. AEC Routemaster. The AEC Routemaster became one of the most recognizable buses in the world, largely because of its unusual open rear platform and timeless double-decker shape. First introduced in London during the 1950s, the bus was designed to modernize public transport while keeping boarding quick and efficient. Unlike fully enclosed buses, the Routemaster allowed passengers to hop on and off through an open rear entrance, often while the bus was still slowly moving through traffic. This feature gave the vehicle a very different character compared to standard city buses. Its lightweight aluminum body construction was also highly advanced for the period, borrowing ideas from aircraft engineering to reduce weight and improve fuel efficiency. The rounded front shape, large windows, and bright red exterior made it instantly recognizable across the city. Over time, the Routemaster became closely connected with London itself and appeared in films, television, and tourist photography around the world. While practical concerns eventually led to its replacement on many routes, the bus remained popular because of its distinctive design and nostalgic atmosphere. Even today, preserved Routemasters continue operating on heritage routes, showing how an unusual design can become a lasting cultural symbol rather than simply a mode of transport. Neoplan Jumbo Cruiser. The Neoplan Jumbo Cruiser was one of the largest and most bizarre buses ever placed into regular passenger service. Built in Germany during the 1970s, this enormous vehicle stretched far beyond the size of a normal coach bus and introduced a design rarely seen before or since. The Jumbo Cruiser featured multiple passenger levels connected through staircases inside the cabin, creating an interior layout that felt closer to a small moving building than a traditional bus. Some versions could carry well over 100 passengers while still offering luxury seating and travel amenities. Its massive length and unusual proportions made it extremely difficult to maneuver through tight streets or urban environments, which limited where it could realistically operate. Even so, the vehicle attracted enormous attention wherever it appeared because of its sheer size and unconventional structure. Neoplan developed the bus during a period when long-distance travel companies wanted larger and more luxurious vehicles capable of transporting large groups efficiently. Despite its ambitious design, the Jumbo Cruiser proved too specialized and expensive for widespread adoption. Still, it became legendary among transport enthusiasts and remains one of the most unusual examples of bus engineering ever attempted. Siticar Airport Bus. The Siticar Airport Bus was a highly unusual transport vehicle, designed specifically for moving airline passengers across airport terminals and runways. Instead of focusing on speed or traditional comfort, the bus prioritized visibility and passenger flow in crowded airport environments. Its most distinctive feature was the elevated passenger cabin, surrounded by large glass panels, creating a nearly panoramic viewing experience. The unusual body shape often made the bus resemble a moving observation deck, more than a conventional transport vehicle. Many airport buses during the 20th century were boxy and purely functional, but the Siticar embraced a more experimental approach to design. The vehicle's low driving position and oversized upper passenger compartment gave it an unusual appearance, standing out immediately among service vehicles on the tarmac. Airports adopted these buses because they could efficiently move large groups of passengers between aircraft and terminals, without requiring permanent boarding bridges. Their unusual structure also helped passengers maintain visibility while navigating busy airport grounds. Although airport transportation technology later evolved toward more standardized shuttle systems, buses like the Siticar represented a period when designers experimented more freely with public transport concepts, tailored for very specific environments. Superbus. The Superbus was an experimental high-speed bus concept developed in the Netherlands with the goal of combining public transportation with the speed and style of a sports car. At first glance, it barely looked like a bus at all. The vehicle sat extremely low to the ground with a long aerodynamic body that resembled a futuristic limousine more than traditional public transport. Designed to travel at very high speeds on dedicated lanes, the Superbus aimed to offer fast intercity travel while maintaining the flexibility of road transport. Its sleek shape reduced air resistance, while multiple side doors allowed passengers to enter quickly without crowding. Inside, seating was arranged more like a luxury lounge than a standard bus cabin. The project explored how public transportation might evolve if speed, efficiency, and passenger comfort were prioritized equally. Although the Superbus gained international attention for its dramatic appearance and ambitious goals, it never entered large-scale commercial service. Infrastructure challenges and high development costs limited its practical use. Even so, the concept demonstrated how radically different buses could become when designers moved away from conventional expectations and treated public transport as something futuristic rather than purely functional.